in case you missed it.
Got it.
Camille, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me also?
Yes, yes, we can. So I think we are now here about 30 persons from different parts of Finland, different archipelago areas and different islands. And I want to say to you here in this room that Camille is somewhat like a legend, both in Scotland and also among the European islands. I don't know, for how long have you been the chair of SIF, Camille?
It's about, I've done 3 terms, so it's about 9 years now. I'm on my 3rd term.
And she has also been the chair for ESIN, the European Small Islands Federation. And also Camille comes from a very small island, Scottish island called Åbo. And they have been forerunners when it comes to renewable energy. So they have their own wind turbine and has been for a very long time self-sufficient with sustainable energy, and therefore has often been a good example all over Europe because of your great work on your islands. But I will give the floor to you, or the screen, please.
Welcome. Very pleased to have been invited to present the Scottish Islands Federation to you all. The Scottish Islands Federation started as a network, and then we became a federation when it became obvious that we could not get any funding for our activities as a network. So ESIN and the Scottish Islands Federation became federations more or less at the same time in 2007. So our ambition as a network is to be a voice for the Scottish Islands, because as you will see from my next slide, we have lots of islands between several local authorities. And what we want is to promote the interest and, of course, the sustainability of our Scottish Islands community. So, as you can see from this little map on the left, Scotland has got a lot of islands, 93 inhabited islands, but they are spread between 6 local authorities. You have Shetland, Orkney, and Outer Hebrides that have got their own island authority. And then you have Argyll and Bute, Highland, and North Ayrshire, which are 3 mainland authorities which have islands. So it is a very different situation whether you are in Shetland, Orkney, or Highland, whether you have a good relationship with your local authority and whether your local authority understand your needs. So we are a membership organization. We have 55 members spread throughout all these areas, and our members are leading the organization. They are development trust, community companies, community councils, because we do not have municipalities in Scotland, unfortunately. We have about 46 members like this, and they are voting members, full members. And then we have associated members like universities, NGO like Community Energy Scotland, and other bodies that are working with islands. So what do we do? Well, what we do, we want to have a say on the things that matter, and they are very much the same things as you are dealing with in FUS: housing, population retention, work on the islands, transport, broadband, cost of living, perhaps something that is more peculiarly Scottish, which is fuel poverty. We have a lot of old houses that are not well insulated, and a lot of people pay more than 10% of their total income on getting fuel for the housing, for the homes. We work on topical issues through working groups. So we are working on energy, because the Scottish Islands government has set up a carbon neutral island project. So we are shadowing this project with our own working group. We are working on social care for looking at solutions to keep older islanders on the islands rather than them having to leave to go to the mainland. And we also have a group on marine litter, because we have islands that are extremely affected by the marine plastic pollution, so much so they have to clean their beaches every day, like the island of Islay. And we also learn from each other through learning exchanges. And also we are working with the Scottish government on their national island plan. Scotland is one of the few countries in the world that has got a national island plan, and we are working with the island team within the government to make sure that the areas of the national plan are covered and they are addressing the problems as we see them on the island. So again, that's transport, broadband, IT, governance, retention of population, jobs, etc. We are also working with other organizations such as universities to produce more data for the island, because there's not enough data. There's data in the island local authorities, but up to now, the European NUTS statistics do not make a difference between islands and mainland. This is why we need to work hard on getting this data. And we are very interested in the habitability plan to gather the data that we feel would be very useful for the island plan implementation. And last but not least, we are been working hard with our friends in Europe to promote the idea of smart islands. And for us, it's important to be a smart island in Scotland as well as in Europe. And smart islands are islands that are looking at all aspects of their lives: water, transport, fuel, waste, tourism, IT, broadband, and they have smart solutions for their issues. And oops. And how do we do what we do? Just moving things around so I can see. So our board is got about 2 directors from each island area. So we are 10 at the moment, but we have 2 more people coming on the board from Shetland and Orkney. So we meet every 6 weeks. We have 1 full-time project development person that takes the minutes and drive the plan forward. We do our online community learning exchanges. We do about 4 to 6 a year. We are going to have 1 on housing, 1 on social care in the next month. Sometimes we also have physical community learning exchange, because in Scotland you can apply for funding to do that. And that means that people that want to go and visit an island can be paid for the travel, and the island that is hosting the visit can get some money for their time also and their expertise. We have regular meetings with the island team. We take part in high-level meetings on the island plan delivery. A lot of our time is to also respond to government consultation. And it feels as if there's government consultation all the time. So we try to get a view from all the members, and we work on it to make it a coherent whole. Sometimes we have to work with other organizations because we are not always a specialist in the topic. So we have a communal response, but we always make sure that there's an island focus response, which deals with the specifics to islands. As I said earlier, we do the working groups, the marine litter and island decarbonization. The marine litter, we managed to get funding for a project officer for a year, and we are looking at a way of supporting people that are doing beach clean, and also find an end result, an end use for all the plastic that we gather. A lot of the plastic that we gather is from the fish industry, the fish farm, and also the fishing industry. And it's a massive problem, but we need to find a way to get all that plastic reused as opposed to be sent to landfill, but it's a big job. And finally, we share information through our website. We have a feature which is Island of the Month, which is working really well when we focus on one island and we present that island in detail, and that works really well for both the islanders and others. People tell us that if they see the island focused for the month, they sort of like get more people interested in the work that the organization is doing on that island, which is sometimes goes without being recognized. And finally, we work with our sister organization for the rural areas of Scotland, Scottish Rural Action, to deliver the Scottish Rural Parliament, which is now called Rural and Island Parliament. So it's every 2 years, and the next one will be in November 2023. So we just had a meeting of all the rural stakeholders to see what was the issues that we wanted to take to the fore. So that's basically the end of my presentation, and I'm very happy to respond to your questions, if any.
Thank you, Camille.
You're very welcome.
I don't know, can you see us?
Yes, I can see some fleeting shapes coming out of the
This was very interesting. We just had a discussion before this about how our national network should work. So I think this gave a lot of food for thought. Is that the way you say it? I guess. I think if you have questions, I will deliver them to Camille here, because I guess she can't hear you. So are there? Oh.
I'll stop this.
Yeah. Ska jag ta rekorda slut då? Ja, and wait a minute.